Awesome. Perfect. So there it goes. It's recording. Yay. How is everybody today? Good. Okay. You guys don't have to be on mute, just so you know. So the purpose of this call is to be in communication. Like, this is a great feedback call. This is a vision call, what we're doing, where we're going. I want your guys' input. Just have a distraction out of the way. And so that way we can really move forward. And we're blind. Angel. Anyways, okay, so we'll get back to the recording. I did yoga today. It's going to take me a little bit to refocus and get when your Zen all leaves, you got to get it back in. So the purpose of this call is to review March, right? And really just have some celebrations from it, what you guys really enjoyed, what we can grow, what we can continue to focus on, and then really set out a vision for what May looks like, what we're building together, what we're building as a region in our city, and where we all feel value would be the most for where we're at right now, what our business is, right? Because we could take what someone else is doing, but if that's not where our business is and what our region needs, then we really want to focus on exactly what does our region need to grow. So I had a great call with Andre yesterday. She's got some really great ideas for us. So of how we can really master what's happening and just get you guys a little excited for May. So with that, I'm going to open it up and get some shares from you guys. So what really impacted you? What did you find really powerful? What over the last couple months has really been something that has been powerful for you in these trainings that you want to continue to see us focus on and grow? So I'll just open it up so you guys can go.
Can I start?
Yes, you can, Bobo.
I think one thing that I learned over time is, even though I don't have like many active team member in here, but seeing you and your team, the commitment and how much work you have put in, it really wake me up. Because a lot of time back then, like, doesn't matter what I do, I would always like need somebody to kick my butt. You see what I mean? Like, you need somebody to drag you or like ask you to do this and do that. But like seeing other people very, very committed and like 100% in, like you and Matt and your team and your mom and everything, like all that you contribute is really, really touching me. And like, I just wanted to help as much as I can, right? So it's just like I think the important thing is, like, I know like you have a big team and of course that stage is important, but like, why do you put in so much time? Like, you don't just do it for your team, but also you care about Canada. You want to grow Canada. And I can see that this is what I really treasure. It's the hard work you guys put in. And it really inspired me, encouraged me, and also helped me to really see that, I should be helping too. And because other people are putting so much hard work and I wanted to help. And that's really, really impacted me very, very it's very important to me.
Thank you, Bobo. I appreciate that feedback. I think it's important that, like, as a region, that one thing we always do is we do appreciate. And Bobo, you are probably the queen of gratitude, that I'm just always in awe of how much you give and how many times things have been given to you last minute, and you turn around and you make things happen, and then you turn around and thank us. So I just want to send that right back at you and say that over the last year, these events wouldn't have happened. Well, they would have happened, but your contribution to them has made things so seamless, and the flow, and you've just taken ownership of the role that you carry. And there's nothing but unbelievable gratitude for that. So thank you. Thank you. And for me as a region, like, as our team talks about what we see for our team, the one thing everyone has always said is, what about Bobo, Samantha, and Lumita? What about them? We got to make sure they're included. So that's the purpose of this, because we have like a vision for our team and what we want to see happen. But that means like our region, because ultimately when the waters rise, every boat in the water does. So all of us getting success means all of us get success. And that's the purpose of opening those doors to come join us, right? So thank you, Bobo, for everything that you do, because I know that you spend hours, and your strength in that department is such a value to our region, because you take that role and you really own it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have a share?
A bobo. What's the bobo? Mommy.
There's got to be more to celebrate. Did anyone attend the event this weekend?
How everything, like how we all just come together. That's kind of my thing. We feel like it's one big team, but I know we have separate teams. But I like I like the unity part of it. Like I don't know, that's kind of that's why I joined Herbalife. And like if that stops, then I don't think I will continue it, right? Like I like the community. I like learning like different tips. Like even this weekend, like I learned about putting my Herba bars in the freezer, making a blizzard. Like I wanted to learn stuff like that, and like the little tips that we share, like what we do and how to make it all to come together and make Herbalife, right?
That's awesome. Okay. So I'm hearing that the one thing we love celebrating is the fact that we are one unit. When you come to the event, it's one family, right? It doesn't matter which organization you come from. You walk into the event and it's one family. So that's a great celebrate. That's definitely something we want to continue to empower. Because that just creates positivity so that anybody's guests walk in that room, it's a positive place. That's really what we want to make sure we're consistently fostering. So thank you both of you for your input. And thank you, Samantha and Paul. You guys always show up early. You always, what can we do? How can we help? Right. So I appreciate that. Paul's doing all the setup. He's just grabbing bins. He's like a club member. It's awesome. So I want to say thank you to both of you because it doesn't go unnoticed. So I appreciate it. Who else would like to share? So Melissa, welcome to the call. Right now we're just going over celebrations. So things that we have been excited about with the events over the last couple months, things we'd like to continue to see fostering, things that we're celebrating that are empowering over the STSs and the event that we're creating. So open up for a couple more shares. Coach Bliss, nice sweater. Who else would like to share?
I think for me, it really is the community thing. Because like, I mean, we're all coming together, and we don't always get to see each other or talk to each other all the time. Like, that's what's nice about the regional events. Because I mean, like, I see our team members regularly, but I don't always see everybody else. And that's something that, since I started going to events, that's what's meant the most. Is like, I've helped out with registration desk almost since I started coming to events. Like, probably my second or third event, but I've gotten to know so many faces and so many names that now, like, that's one of the things I love about registration is now when people walk through the door, I know them. You know what I mean? So it's nice. That's one of the things I really enjoy about the regional events is that when those people are walking through the door, I can say, hi, how are you? You know, and I feel really comfortable and confident doing that.
Okay, great. Great. Does anyone else have some shares? Okay. So I think I love exactly where all of you guys are coming from. And, you know, personally for me, what I see going forward to May is actually amplifying, amplifying exactly what we all just shared, and really focusing on the community and the celebration of each other. That's really what we want to see because that's what creates growth, right? Recognition, positivity. People are attracted to it. People want to be a part of it. People want to be, you know what I mean? Everyone wants to be a part of a family. Everybody does. I don't care how negative Nancy you are. When someone makes you feel good, you want to be around them. So that's what we really want to continue to, nurture and grow, especially in our region. And so with that, we start to really think about like, what are we doing in May? Right? What is the most productive thing to do? And so I kind of shared with Andre, she's been watching us. I talk to her all the time about our numbers, what our events are doing. I love the speakers that we've been having in. I think that they've really nailed things on the head. They're very powerful for our leadership, and really give, like for me, especially, like I got my notepad out. I'm like, I'm here for me just as much as, you know what I mean? Putting on the training. And so I think it's key that we continue to follow that route, but I really want to see what we can do to help the event, right? Because that's ultimately the purpose of the event. Yes, I love getting my training. Yes, I love seeing all of you guys. That's amazing and wonderful. But I think every single one of us in one way or another wants to grow, wants to create a little bit more of an income, and wants to see our region do really well. Are we all in agreement of that? Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So a little while ago, we took some adaptations from Montreal. That's where the dinner came from. Right? So we switched things up. We did the HOM in the afternoon instead of the morning. We added in a dinner. So really kind of trying to get that flow of this new energy that they're bringing. Talking to Andre, their event is still completely different than ours.
Of course.
So it's the same structure, but what they teach and how they introduce it to the guest part of it is completely different. Right? It's a huge celebration. And I remember the first, when we moved it to the club, I promoted it as Client Recognition Day. come on in. We want to recognize all of our clients. You've dropped 10 pounds in the last month. I want to celebrate you this time and Saturday. This is the address, right? So really making it a recognition event versus like, hey, come look at our business opportunity. Which one sounds more attractive?
Yeah.
Celebration.
The celebration, right? And so that's where I was really talking with her yesterday on what they do, how their flow is. So all the coaches training, all the recognition for the members, all of that stuff, the personal development, they still all do. They do it in a 3-hour period. They do it late afternoon. And then at 6 o'clock, they open the doors to their guests and they do an hour-long recognition. So they don't really even do products or anything like that. They just do recognition. They have their MC up there, the speaker, they'll share some stories about, get some of the key people, the big weight loss in the room or the big movers in the room. They'll share some stories, celebrate their ambassadors. Like, Terry, congratulations. You've just lost 30 pounds. Tell us, your favorite product, da, 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 da. And then, by the way, new ambassador, can everyone give her a round of 5? So dropping those little seeds for our guests to then ask, what is an ambassador, or what is a preferred member, or how did they get that discount? And I lost 30 pounds and I made $200 last month. Just more doing a recognition event versus a training. Does that make sense?
Kind of like, rather than doing the opportunity meeting, we're doing a results sharing and just celebration in general.
Just a big celebration. So you have the little bit of, like the opportunity meeting, but even like you think of the Rich Gudis, I don't think they play the Rich Gudis video. They keep it super high energy. Everyone's walking in, they're high-fiving, and then they do a dinner afterwards. And during that dinner is then when you really get to like build those relationships with your guests. You get to tell them kind of a little bit more about what you do. They have an opportunity to ask those questions. I heard you guys mention that they were a new senior consultant when they came up. What does that mean, right? Like really giving in our act of the recognition, we're giving hints to what the business behind. So almost like dropping those seeds to encourage people to ask questions. That way,
it's kind of like rather than giving them an entire presentation on the marketing plan, you're getting bits and pieces, and then it's like, what is it? It gives them the opportunity to ask the question, what is that? Yep. Rather than having them sit there and think, oh my God, are they ever going to, you know what I mean? Like if they're not 100% into it, then they're going to sit there thinking, oh my God, what am I listening to?
Yeah.
But if they're hearing these little bits and pieces, it might entice them to actually ask the question and think more about it.
So if you guys are okay with it, I'd like to share their agenda with you. So Andre's forwarded me an agenda from one of the Montreal events and kind of review it. And then I want to get some feedback. I want to honestly hear what you guys think, what your thoughts are. This is a very important time for us as we move forward to continue to keep the unity. That's the number one goal out of this, is that we continue to keep the unity and grow that. Okay, so everyone want to see the agenda?
Yep.
Yes? Okay, let me hit share screen here. And we are right here. Okay. Where'd it go? Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, so our Montreal Success Gala. So the event actually starts at 2 o'clock. So the reason they started this late is because all of the team there, they still have fit clubs and all these things in the morning. We can pick whatever times we want, right? But this allows them all to do their fit clubs. It allows, families to spend time together. If you got to mow the lawn, like you still have part of your Saturday, right? For people like Felissa traveling an hour, you're not getting out of your house at 6 in the morning. It gives time for people to get guests in their car as well, right? So that's when I asked her, she says, we start much later. They have a much younger group, right? So a lot of they're younger, but they all attend fit club at 8 in the morning. This gives them time to go home, get showered, have lunch, and then it's their afternoon versus an entire day event. Because even with our shortened event, it still is an entire day. We're just not there at 6. We just don't get there till 9. But unless you're, at the gym at 4 in the morning, you don't get a lot done in the Saturday. So they start their event at 2. So their MC opens, and then they have their speaker, right? So their speaker comes up. This would be their coach's training kind of thing. So you can see basically their speaker does the whole morning. We would have to switch that a little bit. I would think that we would still do an hour and a half with a speaker and then an hour and a half of coach training for what's one of our coaches in the region sharing, right? Because we don't have a speaker here full time. Does that make sense? So kind of like what Courtney did this weekend, right? So most of our speakers, Graham, Courtney, all of them, we've kind of brought them on for about 90 minutes. And that gives us their time. They share their story. They share, you know, relevant factors of their business, what their business is doing. And then we do a Q&A. Okay, so
I like the structure that we've been doing with the speakers, where they do their presentation and we have the question and answers,
I
rather
think
than them just talking.
Yep.
You know, it's nice having that interaction.
I think it's been valuable. Does everyone like that? Yep. Okay. So then they've got their gala. So then they do their pre-sale, right? So speaker comes up again. This guy was sharing his DMO, a little bit more into his journey. So Nestor has been around for a very long time. So he was up there for, you know, he ran the entire morning. And then there was a personal development section. So you can see here, their event starts at 2. And by 5 o'clock, they've already done, so I guess they're the same coaches training as ours, right? So ours goes 11 to 3. This goes 2 to 6. And so then we'd have 2 sections, and then, this is their marketing plan right here. You guys see that? I don't know if I've got my pointer on. Can you guys see my pointer? Yeah. Okay. So this is their coach recognition. So when they do the marketing plan, and granted we're building up to this, but they just do their marketing plan by they just throw up the 25%, and those people just come up to the room, and then they interview 2 or 3 of them. Right. So as we grow and we start having more and more guests in the room, and then more new coaches in the room, and then more people moving up the business in the room, this is a great way to do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is just, they teach the marketing plan through recognition. So again, celebration, celebration, celebration. And then that really gives them those keys. Does everyone understand that? Okay. So then then at 6 p.m., basically they do a big raffle. So they get the huge energy, and then the doors open. So for us, again, it would be a little bit different because we have the doors are right there. There's no lobby for people to wait in, but we have vision of where we're going, right? 200 people, 300 people will be in that hotel. And then this is is it going to scroll for me? I think
so. The clients arrive the guests arrive at 6?
Yes. So guests come in at 6 is what they have here. So raffle, gala, and extravaganza. So this was last May was this agenda, but they follow the same agenda all the time for everything. And then the doors open. The doors are open for about 10 minutes. And then you can see here, this is their guest section. It's 40 minutes. So they've got their speaker up there. They've got their MC up there, or, you know, someone high energy. And all they do is recognition. And they celebrate each other. They have testimonies. People come up, they do their testimonies, who's got new results, right? And this is a call out to all of us coaches to get new results. So that for May, every single one of us is coming up there with a new result. Last event, I got fired up. Courtney told me to be the best me ever. I'm so grateful for these trainings. I've lost 15 pounds in the last 2 months. Woo woo! There's Bobo. Look at my muscles, 10 pounds on beef, right? Like, just say that, Bobby. But like, that's really what, as leadership for the people on this call, when we are guests in there, we want to make sure that every single one of us is coming up there super fired up. Right? Because we lead that. We are the inspiration. They came to see us. They came because we invited them. We want to make sure that we hold true to what we stand for. Okay. So this is the rundown. This is their day. So their event is from 2 and it ends at 6:30. So it's about 4.5 hours long. And then they party. So then they just have a party, right? So that is the rundown of the day. So my thought was that we follow a lot of the same thing, except being the community that we are. And I said this to Andre. I said, I think more than anything, people would show up for a potluck. I know for us in our region, like
Fantastic turnout at Christmas.
we say potluck and like people that have never been to the club show up.
But the thing is that might actually help us really promote that with our community, that just with the people who come for fit clubs. And like, we had people that came to the New Year's potluck because they were coming for a celebration of potluck. Had nothing to like it was for a lot of them to do with the Herbalife opportunity, but they came because it was a gathering and it was a potluck, and we still had celebration and recognition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was almost like we did a little mini thing of what they
why
do
we got
there,
all of
except we
these.
didn't have the training in advance.
Yep, we celebrated like all the coaches that did 5K over the last year. They all got their stuff. We celebrated all the DAPs. They got all their hats and stuff, right? So we did all the celebrations. People knew that there was a celebration and recognition for people's hard work, and so it allowed them to have questions and see, hey, I really like that hoodie. How do I get one, or this or that, right? So that was again events that we have that we do as a team, right? So it would be a little different when we do it as the region because all of us run separate promotions, but it was that exact same idea that we did.
But it
huge
really did.
celebration.
It
Oh, yeah.
worked to really bring a lot more people in that won't make the effort to come to a success gala.
Yes.
Or even like, because when we promoted it as an STS, like they all understood that it was a training.
Yeah.
So most of them, and I mean, some of them are, you know, I mean, like they're preferred members or whatever. Like, I mean, there's no reason for them to not be there. But because we promote it as a training, they're, I don't know if they're just turned off, but they don't see it as a priority. But maybe if we promote it as a celebration of potluck, you know, and they show up at 6 o'clock, boom.
It's our recognition. It's our recognition night. Get dressed
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? And like people can get dressed up. You know what I mean? Like, and that's
So it's a great way to promote it for guests to come at 6 o'clock. You're not taking any time out of your day. You're coming at 6 o'clock for dinner.
Yeah.
That's a
Is
celebration
there
of
a dress
recognition.
code? Is there a dress code for STS? Because
So-
sometimes, like, I don't feel like there is.
there should, for me, it all depends. Every region's a little bit different. Because I've seen some STSs that have presidents teams up on stage on jeans, right? My thing is my mentors have always told me dress for the pin you want. That's what I was always told, right? So I don't want to discourage people from coming if they don't have clothes to wear, because not everyone has, but right? Granted, you can go to Value. The dress I wore to Phoenix was from Value Village, right? Don't tell my husband that. But
You just told me. Hello, I'm on this call.
I know I'm teasing. So yes, I think that ultimately as leaders that we want to represent, you want to wear business casual and above, right? Obviously we're not floor length gowns because you'll get stuck in the grate. I don't want anyone to see that at the club, right? But you want to dress for the pin that you want. So yes, we do want to be in dress pants, right? Preferably no jeans, right? I know some jeans cost more than dress pants. I understand that still doesn't make them dress pants. Okay.
Mine.
That was a hint.
Melissa's too, yeah. Sorry, you two in the corner here. So we do want to, because we want people to see also that it's a business, right? It's not just this fit group of people that are hanging out. We do want to see like it's a business. Like, why are you all dressed up? Oh, well, I'm excited because we did all our recognition for our movers and groovers in the business this month, right? So you want to represent that you're excited to have a business as well. That it's like I get to wear my leggings and sweaters Monday through, well, every day of the month except for STS, right?
Yeah.
So Laura Holloway will teach a lot about that. One thing I loved about Laura Holloway that she really taught, and I've heard it from her, is as a woman, there's a couple things. There's short, there's tight, and there's cleavage. You can pick one, but only one, right? So if you've got a tight dress, it's long and no cleavage. If you've got a short dress, it's loose and no cleavage. If you've got cleavage, it's right. So you can does that make sense? So again, we just want to make sure because we want to be representing $1 billion company that's welcoming to everybody. So again, if we're overdressed, but you go like Ryan Baker, he's suit jacket and all that stuff, right? And so then I do think that, but I think for me, most of us are dressed fairly appropriately. I think every once in a while we get a little slack, right? Depending on the person or depending on where you are comfortable with your body and having clothes, but we can just move forward as leadership and really set that standard. So if you guys have input on what you'd like to see. Felissa, I think you were decent. Decent. I don't know if that's a good word, but I think that I'm not trying to, I don't want to offend.
I'm trying.
It wasn't inappropriate.
You were not inappropriate. You were not, you know what I mean? I think that did you represent a $7.7 billion company? Maybe not to that level, but did you look like you were rolled out of bed and dropping your kids off at school? No. Does that make sense? So you were kind of
I'm progressing.
You're progressing. Yes. You've had some months better than
I'm
others.
I think
I was really good at January kickoff, so I mean, I'm making
Yeah.
progress.
She looks beautiful then.
So basically, what you guys think when you go to LDW, it's the same thing that you'd wear to STS. That's kind of how I feel about it, right? It's your business event. You want to look like you own a business. And the same for me, like when I am at the club, I still make sure I look like I own a business. I want to be representing a fitness group or a smoothie bar. So I'm not going to be back there in a suit and a dress because that would just be silly. But I also make sure that I'm wearing clothes that represent it. Like Graham said, you got to represent your region. You have to fit exactly what you want to attract. And if you want to attract movers and shakers and people that are moving, you want to look like one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't want to be like, here's the dress code, you can get in or not. But I think just by taking, all of us taking that as leadership and really setting that tone of what do we want to attract into our business. If someone were to walk in dressed like us, would we want them on our team? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I had a thought because I've seen this with a couple different ones. If we want to do like the recognition, like awesome potluck dinner, come dressed up and all that, we could do, because I've seen a couple that have like a red carpet that they put like coming from the doorway.
Yeah.
And then you could like take pictures of people as they're on like the red carpet and be like, oh my God, look, you're on the red carpet. Like this is like really awesome kind of thing, right?
We could.
I don't know if it would be beneficial in our area, but
we could dress up the club.
I mean, maybe it's worth it. Yeah.
We could also do a photo area. Like in the front where the registration
like
is. We could get like a nice Herbalife and put a red carpet down there in the front, and we could have like a photo station, right? So it could be, you know what I mean? Like, and then people can come and like, they could have their picture of like down 5 pounds and down this, and we could have like a fun little, in that front area could definitely be, because you wouldn't need a big red carpet, right? Just a red carpet right out in front. And then we're painting that wall anyway, so it won't be green. Oh, by the way, Penny, I plan on painting that wall.
I might have heard something about that. Okay.
And then I know in Montreal, it's okay, Matt, we can talk about it later. In Montreal, they have one of the Herbalife, like they've made the investment, and they have like one of those photo backdrops. Now, right now, our region, it's a big investment to make, but we could definitely dress up that area and have like a photo booth. I think that's a great idea because it gives people that recognition, right? Come on in, make sure you dress nice, or take some photos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, from the pictures that I've seen from like the prize team retreats and from the VIP thing that you guys went to in St. Louis, like you guys all had a spot for photos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the prize team retreat, it looked like it was a freaking throne. It was amazing.
Yeah,
but it just like maybe take stuff like that. Like maybe people would be really into it. Because I mean, if I got to sit in a throne, I'd be all over that. Be like, look, I'm in a throne.
We'll get you a tiara too.
Oh, I already have one. Okay. But I know it's another one.
I think that's a really great idea because then you can talk about dress up because we've got a photo station. We want to celebrate you. So make sure you wear something that you look good, that you feel good in and you are excited about, because we are going to do some photos, just recognizing and celebrating. And so I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
What does everyone think of that?
You post those and you post them all over Facebook, start tagging people, and like everyone's going to be like, what were you doing? Why were you doing that? Like, what was going on?
And then,
maybe that'll like, maybe. I mean, it might work.
Selfie.
Yeah.
And Christy was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other feedback?
Get over here.
Any other feedback?
I think that's really awesome because like as a mom, I don't know what other thing, but like one of the highlight that I think, other than the celebration, like the dinner is really awesome and the training is really great, but also we get the chance to get dressed up there, like because on regular basis, like we don't have a lot of opportunity to dress up, and then like being at the event and dress up and have the photo station and probably have those signs that people can hold, like they've lost whatever pounds or like what achievement they want to write on the board that they want to take a photo with, and that's really really awesome idea. And that's gonna go crazy on social media because everybody wants to post stuff, right? And then when they see people getting recognized and dressing nice, and that's a very very good attraction point for.
I love it. How do you guys feel about the flow?
I like it.
Samantha?
I'm good with that because I have to get up at 6 a.m. to be there for like 9. So, any more sleep that I could get on a Saturday is awesome.
My only thing is childcare. That's my only thing. Like when until 10 o'clock at night, or like that. Like I said, like 6 to 10 dinner. Like that means I'm paying for a babysitter overnight.
It wouldn't be 6. That's just when they close it. People can leave at any time.
I think on average we've been out of there by no later than 8 o'clock. By the time people take off and stuff and get and I mean that's with us doing cleanup at the end and packing up cars and stuff. So.
Well, and we can start it earlier.
Right now too.
Yeah, so we can start it earlier. We could do the training, the event itself goes 1 to 5:30, and then dinner's at 6, and then that way you still, everyone's actually, you've eaten, because if we end at 5:40, by the time we do the flip, everyone's sitting and eating by 6 o'clock. That way you could sit, you can mix, you can mingle. If you want to be out of there by 7, you've still had an hour engaging with your guests, making connections, taking some pictures, right? And then I would think, I know for you guys driving, it's a little bit more, your kids aren't going to come out with you all day. Obviously during the training itself, with the coaches training, we don't want kids there because they are a distraction. But then I don't see any reason, if we're just doing a celebration for our community of where they're at right now, I don't see any reason that families can't come together.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason that Christy couldn't show up with her 2 kids at 5 o'clock while we do the celebration, while we share weight loss, and she can, you know what I mean? Because we're building families.
Yeah.
And so then they get the kids' guests can come for the HOM part of it. Because it's a celebration and a party that they're invited to for the potluck, because if they're bringing potluck stuff, we're not gonna be like, hey, come and eat by yourself and find a babysitter for your kids.
Yeah. Well, and it's literally only like a half hour to 40 minutes of celebration and recognition. So yeah.
And it's supposed to be high energy, right? So obviously we're gonna want, but if it's half hour, kids can generally stay pretty in their seats for half an hour. If we were asking them to be there for 2-3 hours, it wouldn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
And Samantha, if you need, we have lots of connections in Morinville for sitters as well. So then if you wanted to get a sitter from the 1 to 5 and then go pick up your kid and come back really quickly, we could do that as well.
Yeah, maybe. That would probably just be a lot easier.
Yeah. And then they're there for the party with you.
Yeah, that's my only thing, right? Because I'm like, if we start at 1, that's in the middle of the day, so then we can't start anything, and then afterwards, I don't see her at all, right? So
yeah.
And if I have a babysitter in Morningsville, then that makes it a lot easier to come to dinner with us.
We do. We know lots of people.
Awesome.
So there's always a solution, right? So,
yeah.
But then it gives your guests too, come on out, bring something to eat. I know it's a little bit of a drive, but bring the kids, bring the family, come check out this nutrition club. This is what we're building. I want to celebrate you. You've got absolutely amazing results. Bring your favorite dish and let's eat good food and high five each other.
Fair enough.
Does that sound like an invite that you guys we want to make sure that everyone's moving forward excited about this, because the only way the event's going to grow is with our excitement, because we will attract people into it.
Yeah.
No, it's easy for sure. Easier.
Okay. So
So
any
is
other
there
thoughts?
going to be a group or where that's gonna be kind of what everyone's bringing, that we can add to, or that we can say hey, well, no one's bringing salad, so and so bring that. If I have 5 people coming to the event, I don't want them all bringing salad. If you're bringing salad, is there gonna be some kind of communication with that, or are we just kind of willy-nilly yet?
We usually do have an event posted.
We do have an event posted.
For
that you can
us,
share.
sure, yeah.
Yep.
But what about guests?
So guests, I would just tell them bring a side dish. And I think us as the leaders and members take on bringing the main Does that make sense?
Replace it.
Right. So
Yeah.
we ask all of our guests to bring a side dish, right? So whether they want to bring a salad, maybe some, their favorite potato casserole or something like that. And then us as members, right? We could always look at the event hosting the protein end of it, right? So the ticket purchases go and the event hosts the protein end of it. So whether it's a big pork loin, whether it's a turkey, right? The event will get the protein for it. And then all of the side dishes and everything else are potluck.
Okay.
And then we can use that money to purchase things like the red carpet, to save for a backdrop, to, get those things that will continue to move that event forward. Because then when we move to a hotel, right, because that's the goal, is that we outgrow this space, we move to a hotel in the city or in St. Albert, and then we'll want that red carpet and we'll want a backdrop there. So we're putting the money away so that we can afford the hotel, and that we're building an account to start to save for flying speakers in. That's what we're building right now. So if the guests, right, and my mom's the treasurer, so she does all of the books for us, which is, thank you, Mom, you do so much. The purpose is that we outgrow our space, and that we're putting all that money away so that we can host a really epic Christmas party next year, and that we can start flying in guests, because bringing in guests is a $2,000 event. Right. So we want to have that. We want to be able to pay for events, not worried. Like, we want the ticket sales there to pay for the event itself, but we want bank in the account to cover the event before the event even happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Samantha, does that answer your question about the potluck?
Yeah, no, that's good.
So I think if the event hosts the protein, and Mom, is that okay? Mom and
Oh,
Penny?
yeah. My question was this. Should the guests be bringing anything?
Yes. Because they get excited about it and they want to, because it's something that they get to take contribution of. Because when we host a potluck, there's buzz. What are you bringing? What are you bringing? What are you bringing? What are you bringing? What should I bring? I don't know. I've got like all these dishes. What are you bringing?
But they shouldn't be made to feel like they have to.
Yeah.
No, they don't have to.
But if it's
Okay.
as a potluck, then a lot of people will say, "What can I bring?"
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking. But I'm just comparing it to, the only real potlucks I've ever been involved in have been like a church potluck. And it's the church members that bring the food. The guests
Not the
don't bring
guests.
anything.
Yeah.
But
So that's why I'm saying, why are we asking the guests to bring something?
because we're inviting our guests, because Christy's a guest. Because our members, the people that are coming, are already in our community, right? So 90% of the guests that we're inviting are already in our community.
So they're customers. They're not total strangers.
90%, yes. That's where the best business market comes from.
Okay.
A total stranger they're not going to feel, like a total stranger. And I can tell you, Montreal, the cold market guests that they have in there would probably be 1 to 2, maybe, in their 400 people event.
Yeah, it's clients that we're inviting who walk away to celebrate them. They're not business on the business side of it, but to be like, here is the opportunity.
Yes, but they.
Celebrate them, so.
Matt?
Matt was talking.
Well, yeah, no, it's fine. It's just they still should not feel like they're obligated to bring anything.
And they wouldn't.
If they offer to, fine, but a guest should not feel like they have to bring anything.
I'm okay with that.
Right? Like,
But our sense of community, what we want to amplify, what we all talked about on the very beginning, that is that potluck end of it, right? Like, I just know from my previous experience is when you put that word out into the community, people flock to it because it's something exciting. It's something we get to try all these different dishes, right? Food brings people together. So no one's obligated. It's not like, oh, if you don't bring something, don't show up. It's they have an opportunity to become a part of the community.
So let me define, I think where my problem is the definition of community. When you said community, I assumed in Edmonton and St. Albert and Morinville, you put out and you invite everybody in Morinville to come to the potluck. Where you're talking community, you're talking just your existing clients.
Yes, because we're doing, we're celebrating our clients, right? So you're celebrating the clients that are coming. Hi, Ludmita. We're celebrating the clients we want to celebrate you. You've had great results this month. We're doing this client recognition event. We'd love you to come. Feel free to stay for the potluck afterwards.
Okay, that makes a
Yeah.
whole different spin on it.
Later.
So I have heard in the last 2 weeks or so this thing about a quick start. What is your thinking, and what are you going to call this thing in May?
We can call it, Calgary calls theirs the Success Gala.
Okay.
Now they have a fancier dinner because they have a plated dinner and everyone spends $60 on everyone's tickets out there is $60 because they have a full-on buffet dinner at a hotel afterwards, right? So, but when they started this, Mark Lachance would order pizza in the club. When they started doing this type of event, before it outgrew the club and became what is their now gala, Mark Lachance's team would just order pizza in the club and they would have a cheat night and everyone would get together and high five each other and eat pizza together. So that's where this that's where this started and what it grew into.
Okay.
So I think that we can come up with our own term, right? But I think that it's our celebration. It's our we can figure that out what we'd like to call it. Good. So any other feedback? You guys all look very excited.
You're all very quiet.
Who's ready to grow? Yay, Samantha!
I'm excited. You have no idea. Paul's sleeping. He's been throwing up on me. So.
Oh, poor guy's sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so then. Oh. All right. So with that, you guys, Ludmila, we have the recording, so you can watch the recording. And then with that, you guys will we'll get the speaker put together for it. I'll put together like a outline of what we've all discussed on this call so that everyone has a better understanding of like, okay, everyone has an understanding of what we all just talked about and what we're doing. And then we can move forward from there. So that way we can move into April LDW and we can promote it. So we'll have it promoted at April LDW. There'll be the slides there and everything like that so that other people in our region know that's going on, that everyone's invited to. But then just really moving towards a recognition event, a celebrate recognition, keeping people excited, high-fiving them for their great results, what they're doing. And then they'll also want it like that they're welcome to bring people. Right? Come celebrate. They get to bring their guests. You want to know how I lost all this stuff? It gives that when the weight of a training is taken off of it, it gives the opportunity for guests to invite guests as well. Because, hey, I know you've been watching my results. I'm getting this recognition thing tonight. Do you want to come with me? Right? So really it's our language on how we want to choose to promote it and really just opening that door for everyone to just come and celebrate each other. And in that turn, show how beautiful our community is and allow people to want to be a part of it. Good. Yay. Thank you everyone for jumping on this call today. I'm really excited. Is Mom talking?
Yeah, but we can't.
I can't. Erica, did you say something? Because you're muted.
And I did. I had muted myself. I said before you sign off, everybody save the date. It's Mother's Day weekend, right?
What?
May 12th?
Yeah. So I'm just saying, mark your calendars because that's tends to come.
Kind of like a Mother's Day potluck celebration thing. Like, should we use that?
We could definitely run with that theme. Yep.
Yeah,
because the Mother's Day will be on the Sunday, right? So we're not actually on Mother's Day, but we could definitely, I love that idea, Samantha, that we could do, because 90% of our clients right now are moms.
Yeah.
So
We can have like a heart-shaped cake.
we can buy, like, we can get like cheap flowers and give them to each mom and stuff.
Yes.
Like let's invite our mom friends. Like, come get celebrate for just being a mom and being around with people, right?
Yep. That's a great idea. And everyone has to wear pink. So if you want to know the dress code, Samantha, it's pink.
I love it.
I don't have pink. I'll wear red.
Pink and glitters.
You have 2 months. Pink.
Pink.
Value Village.
Value Village.
Love it. Love it. Okay, you guys, thank you, everyone.
Somebody just said I can't hear you. Chat. Oh. Ludmila, I just posted in the Facebook group, just so you know.
Okay, I'll put the recording in there so everyone can watch it if they
Okay.
want to. And then we'll put together an outline of what we're moving forward. That'll come out by the end of the week because obviously this isn't a super priority right now. But you guys just get excited. Mark your calendar. It's May 12th. I just pulled up mine here. Yep, May 12th is the date, is when it will be. And we are going to launch this region. So powerful, powerful. Yes, Samantha?
Are the tickets still gonna be $40?
Yes, I think we'll keep it that rate.
Yeah.
And then that way when we move into the hotel, it's not a change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
It's pin change season. Let's make this happen. Bye.